Welcome to Canadian Carp Society social for 2024. This is our third social in the fall. We did 2022, 2023, and this is 2024. We're on Hoople Island. The ops team's members were here on the 21st last night, just kind of scoping things out, mapping out the potential, how the swims would work out. And we're all set up for peg draw now. Got headquarters set up over there just at the top of the crest of the hill here, and the ops team's members managed to get together, discuss some things, and have some nice food, get into a couple fish. But now we're just an hour or so away from all the anglers arriving and officially kicking off CCS Social 2024 here in Hoople Island. I'm gonna kind of pick things up where we are just kind of starting the peg draw. The last two guys, Ian and Nick, arrived just before the peg draw was gonna kind of happen, and so they kind of ended up picking their pegs sort of blind. But there's every peg here is slightly different and is going to appeal to different preferences and styles, and I think everybody here has ended up with a fairly decent peg. And so Ian and Nick, they showed up towards the end. We went through, did the peg draw, and everyone kind of scurried off with their grab bags full of gifts and that from you know, Carp and Monster Carp Tackle and the Angler Files, and a bunch of different goodies in there from the Canadian Carp Society. And everybody went off to their pegs and kind of got all set up, got their swims set up, got their bivvies and everything going, kind of mapped out their swims and got their rigs out. Shortly after that, yeah, it wasn't too long. This, on a personal note, it was kind of neat. Two of the newer members that joined the social this year, I haven't heard this from them directly, but it sounds like they may have been influenced to join the CCS and come out to the social because of the last year's video. So this will be our third video of the CCS socials, and this will be our third video and our third social. And it's just neat to think that they were somewhat impacted on their decision to join based on last year's video, so all the more reason to carry forward. So Jonathan and Fred, they were at swims 3 and 4, and shortly after everybody got set up, I think Jonathan took the first run, and it was, I don't know if it was an hour or two after everybody had gotten set up, but unfortunately that fish had got off. But it wasn't too long after that, Fred took almost 2 runs right away. I don't know if he lost the first one and landed the second, or vice versa, but Fred got himself a fish, and then later through the night, I think he had another one break him off. So it was nice that the new guys kind of rocked up to the social and kind of showed us how to get it done.
We're our newest carp anglers, one of our newest members, and you got the first fish of the 2024 social. That's nice. This is where you yell, "I'm going to Disney World!" This is Disney World.
That's awesome.
Very small. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
And then the rest of this might not be completely in sequence, but Ben, who ended up in the very first peg, which is to my left, this way. Peg 1, he was fishing with Carl. And I think Ben, what did he do? I think Ben landed one and lost one. I'm pretty sure the second one may have been just a little catfish or something. But it was nice to see Ben catch one in a swim that might not have been very high on anybody's list. It was like kind of a shallow back bay off to the one side of Hoople Island here. And I think his fish was at 2:30 in the morning, and it was 15.5 pounds or so. So that was nice. I think that was Ben's first fish out of the St. Lawrence. And I'm not sure if this is his second or third social. I'm gonna say maybe his third social. So it was nice to see Ben land that fish. Then so that was swim 1 and 2, Ben and Carl. Then swim 3 and 4, double swims, I believe, are Jeff and Tyler. I think Jeff was using Tyler's kayak, which was nice of Tyler to offer it up. Jeff, I think he kayaked out. He found a couple spots, put some H blocks on them, and I think he went 1 for 2 as well. And I think he put a chod rig out there, and I'm not sure what he did with his second rig. But I did ask him how confident he was with the lines he put out, and he seemed fairly confident with the one rod, and he ended up going 1 for 2 through the night, landing a 17-pound fish. So there's been fish out of swim 1 and 2, which is a double swim. There's been fish out of swim 3 and 4, which is a double swim. And then around the tip of the point here, I'm not sure what swim it is, maybe 11 or 10, Ian got into a fish, small, maybe a 10-pound common, just before 3 in the morning. I think I slept through that, but I think John might have some video for me to edit in for that. But Ian got himself, it was kind of neat. Ian just kind of popped into to last year's social, right when the bite was kicking off and things got interesting last year. So it was nice to see Ian out. Nice to see Ian out this year and putting some fish on the bank. So that's around the point, just around the left side of the point was that fish. So the bites have been kind of scattered all around the point. But going back to swim 3 and 4, Tyler, who is kind of notorious for bringing his kayak with him, he's quite the multi-species angler, and it's neat to see him kind of maneuver around and kind of maximize the water he has in front of him with his kayak, bringing out his bait, bringing out his rigs, using the different electronics and everything. And he's quite comfortable going out in the night, and it's very quite a stable unit for him. And so Tyler, I think he's had the most action. We're doing a little kind of friendly challenge for some prizes here. I don't know, many of you may have grown up playing this game, but first fish, biggest fish, and most fish. And right now Tyler's in the lead for all 3 categories. 2 of the categories. So I think John Fred. So Fred's got the first fish landed, and then I think Tyler's got the biggest and the most. So Tyler, I think he's got 24.8, which ties his personal best. So 24.8. He also landed a 12-pound fish. Sorry, there's a chipmunk coming through the bushes at me. So 24.8, 12-pound, and I think he's lost maybe 2 more fish. He's lost a few fish. I don't know if they're getting them in the weeds or around the rocks. I wish I had the camera in my hand. I could pan around and show you a little chipmunk running through the bushes here. And that's kind of the. I've been enjoying the fishing, but I've been kind of leaning towards enjoying the social part of this year's event much more. It's such a peaceful area out here. There's no real road noise. Just the wind, the trees, the rain, the waves, the boats. It's quite a relaxing little atmosphere here, and it's the part of carp fishing that's kind of overlooked quite a bit, I think. It's kind of suiting my style here, and I'm enjoying myself. And then Nick, the most peg, James just packed up and left for the day. He had to he left his car door open for a bit, and thankfully Ben had a power pack, and Nick had some jumper cables, and we were able to get him on the road. But just past to my right here, I don't know if it was swim 9 maybe, Nick had a bit of a boat battle. He wasn't sure if he actually had a fish on. There was a lot of weeds on his line, and it was quite a complicated fight, and James actually went out and kind of helped him navigate the different circumstances that were up against him. The fish had gone through one line and was weeded up, and he was fighting the wind, and he had a 13-foot rod and a 5-foot boat, and it was kind of a complicated fight, but he did end up landing the fish, and a neat little boat battle again this year. And I think that fish came in just over 15 pounds, maybe 15 pounds, 8 ounces or something. It looked way bigger than that, but so Nick's off the mark as well. And then just a couple minutes ago, it's probably around 2 o'clock now, 2:30ish in the afternoon. So we're 2 or 3 hours away from the barbecue, and Dawson just had his rod rip off, and Wayne made his way out in the water to help him land the fish, and he got it right up to the net cord, and obviously that fish popped off just at the last second there. But everyone's feeling pretty good. That's almost every swim has had some action. Not necessarily every angler, but pretty much every swim has had some action through the first night. So hopefully now that some of us have got our spots dialed in and some of us have made some changes, then maybe we'll have a couple more fish come in through the night. And so we got the barbecue to look forward to, some beverages from Tyler. Thanks to Tyler for some of those in advance for some of those beverages. And we'll get the barbecue out of the way, and then freshen up some hook baits maybe, and then hopefully get into some more fish tonight. we're just getting down to the final hour or so before everybody has to be off the sites here on Hoople Island. The social's kind of winding up, and the last time I checked in, we were just about to start the barbecue. So we had Wayne, John, and myself kind of cooking up the food and enjoying the beer that Tyler brought from NiagaraFishing.net. So everybody had some drinks, some burgers, some sausages, some salad, and just kind of hung out for a while. And while the barbecue was taking place, Jeff caught a fish during the barbecue, so he had to take off to his rods after his receiver went off, and he went down and landed his fish. Everybody kind of hung out and chatted for a while. After dark, everybody got the fires kicked up, and the conversations went from picnic table to picnic table to bivvy. Everybody was just kind of hanging out till well into dark. I think the first fish into dark, the first take went to one of Ian's rods, and I don't know how long he had that one on, but he didn't end up landing that one. But he made up for that shortly after. He ended up landing another fish. So Ian had a pretty productive spot where he was just kind of walking his rigs out, and it was kind of neat to get reports from him every time he went out to check on his rigs, like whether he had a fish or not, like just how much of his bait was gone. This is kind of a neat part of fishing the St. Lawrence here, is the visibility is so good, and with some of the weed lines and stuff, there's some kind of margin spots that work really well, and you can just kind of walk your rigs out and check on your bait. And then after that, I think Jeff lost another fish, and then it was well into dark at this point, and I think shortly after the barbecue, Ben and Carl moved into one of the swims that had opened up when James left. Even though they had caught down there, it was nice for Carl to be able to come down to this end and make better use of his boat. So Carl and Ben came out here, found their spots pretty quick just before the barbecue, and then later on that night, Ben got a fish down at this end, and then I hung around with Ben afterwards. Once he got his fish back in the water, I stayed with him just to watch him kind of walk his rig back out. So it was I don't know what time it was at that point, maybe 11 o'clock or something. But then about I think around 12:30 there was a four-way tie for the most fish. Tyler, Jeff, Ben, and Ian. I think they all had 2 fish. After that, I think Nick was sleeping in his bivvy, and he had a short little run, and I don't know if the fish ended up breaking him off, but that fish didn't really materialize. Then right around that same time, Ian got into another fish, and he got that one in. I think I was able to get down and film that one with, I think Ben and I went down and helped him out. And then just after he released that, just off in the distance around the far side of the point here, we could hear a bunch of barking, and it was kind of right when Ian was releasing his fish, and Ian kind of came up the hill, and we joined him, and we shone our headlights over, and there was like a coyote kind of freaking out just around the bay, where almost across from where Wayne was shut up.
Do they bark like that too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. can't remember who I was telling, but I was telling someone that that's what they do when they want to get a dog. They'll bark like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To kind of lure it over?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I ain't going.
Then it was kind of quiet for a while, except the beaver kind of was splashing around out here. Wasn't too happy that we were here. And then we had some skunks raiding the garbages at the picnic table, and we had some raccoons raiding the garbage at the barbecue headquarters. And then early this morning around 5, John had to take, but I don't know. Once he got down to the lines, I don't know if anything was there. So that fish didn't materialize. And then just before 6, Jeff and Tyler got another fish. So after that, I think that made it a 3-way tie for the most fish. So there was Tyler, Jeff, and Ian were all tied with 3 fish. So we the prize for first fish was already decided. So I think Tyler was gonna, if nothing happens in the next half an hour or so, Tyler's gonna take away big fish, and then Jeff had another fish not too long ago. I don't know if it was the last fish or the second last fish to come in, but that puts Jeff in the lead for most fish. Back over this way, Nick went out. We were just starting to tear down. Nick went out to get his H blocks and starting to tear down the swim, so that it's not really a scramble at the end, just kind of the slow pack down. And he's out getting his H blocks, and he thought he was driving through one of his lines because the one rod tip was kind of jerking to the left, but his boat was off to the right. So Dawson ran down and grabbed that rod and lifted up. They ended up landing a fish. I don't recall exactly how big it was, but maybe 15 or 16 pounds or something. 14, 15 maybe. But so it was nice. Dawson and Nick got the assist on that one. So yeah, Jeff, looks like Jeff's gonna take most fish. Tyler's gonna take biggest fish. So yeah, it's just been another beautiful social. Everyone had a great time. Most of us had fished together before, and then the guys that joined us this year, they meshed with everybody. Everybody had a great time. Just casual conversations into the night and sharing fish stories over the barbecue and around the picnic tables with drinks and that. It was really a great time. Like, there's lots of great fishing across the country, and the more we get together and talk things through and share ideas and get together on the Canadian Carp Society platform, like, a lot of great things are kind of coming together, and the future's looking bright. It's nice to get together with everybody, and I know there's a lot of guys that couldn't make it this year, and that's partially the reason to do this kind of video, and everybody can kind of get a glimpse into what it's like to be here if they missed out, or if they're thinking about joining the Canadian Carp Society. It's just a little insight as to what the event is like, and there's a lot of other great things that we do with the Carp Society. Discounts with retailers and tournaments, and just little different chat groups, and our educational pieces we do, and articles and videos, and CCS TV, and Leave No Trace. We're just about to do a final sweep and make sure all the sites are spick and span, so that if we continue booking with the St. Lawrence parks here, that we're always on good terms with them. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't want to carry this on too much, but you know, if you've watched this and enjoyed it, there's 2 videos from the socials previous to this, and we're going to be slowly releasing some of the videos we put together for CCS TV. So all the more reason to either subscribe to the channel or check us out on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, or just join and become a member, or hit the website and sign up for the monthly newsletter if you just want to keep tabs on things for a while and see if it's a good fit. But hope you enjoyed the video, and we look forward to the 2025 social.
It's morning, Davy.
How are you?
You want a coffee?
Not right now.
What if I make it anyways?
Good. Pardon me?
I might just make the coffee anyways.
Okay.
And then you can drink it and feel better.
Perfect.